If you're interested in improving your offense, then one of the best ways is to understand how passing concepts work. In this particular video, we'll be taking a look at the drive passing concept and how it can improve our understanding of football and hopefully improve our appreciation of football. My name is John Scott, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the drive passing concept, which is going to be involving a drag route underneath and a square in behind the defense, with also a running back leaking into the flat. That's generally going to be creating a triangle passing concept that I'm going to be trying to explain as well. If you appreciate these types of videos where I'm trying to bring some real world football into the Madden community, please consider liking and subscribing. So our drive concept can be found on the right side of the screen. That's going to involve the drag route being run by Kirk underneath, followed by Arnold running the square in behind the linebackers, and then finishing off with Drake, the running back, out into the flat. It's a pretty simple read. First go to the drag, second go to the square in, third go to the running back. You can kind of think of it as a low to high read, in that we'll take a look at the drag first, and if the defense drops down to cover it, we can throw it behind the defense. And if both of those are covered, then we'll be moving our eyes towards the running back. Overall, the drive concept that involves the running back will create a triangle passing concept that I'm going to be demonstrating through the use of instant replay. So let's just snap the football and see what we get on this first look. Taking a look at that last play, we're going to be primarily thinking about how the drive concept is attacking the middle of the field. A lot of times we'll be interested in how one of the middle defenders is going to be reacting to this play. And you can kind of think of it that if he is dropping down to cover the drag route, then we can probably throw it behind him. And if he's dropping back, he'll leave space open for the drag route. Let's get this play moving and see what we're going to be looking for. Right now you can see that that linebacker is starting to drop back, and that's just going to leave that drag route right open. And we're going to take that whenever we can. With the drive concept being a high-low read, we generally want to keep hitting that drag route and just pick up short yardage, with the idea that as the defense gets tired of giving up that short drag route, they'll converge on it and then leave the square in open behind it. And with all of our passing concepts, we want to be taking into consideration what the quarterback's drop is. This QB drop will be a 3-step drop out of shotgun, so we're really going to be firing the football out pretty quickly. At the same time though, in order to allow that square in to get open in space, if that is in fact the read that you're going to be going after, you may want to step up once or twice with your quarterback, particularly if you're going to be working your eyes from the drag route to the square in and then to the running back. With this particular drive concept from shotgun, it's a 3-step drop. So we're going to be firing the football out pretty quickly, and just keep in mind that that drag route is really going to be where the football is primarily going. You can almost kind of consider this as an extension of the running game, where we're going to be picking up yardage again and again with this concept. And as the defense starts to really converge on that drag route, we can go behind the defense with the square in. Let's run this play one more time against zone to take a look at what our reads will be once again, our quarterback's footwork, and also the idea that this concept will often create a triangle type look. With instant replay, we're first just going to take a look at Kyle Murray's footwork. We should be seeing a 3-step drop out of this particular set. 1, 2, 3, And that's where we should be really firing the football. You can see that he's already ready to release that. And we have a wide open look for that drag route because our linebacker dropped back. We can see our linebacker here at the snap of the ball. He is trying to cover the deep middle of the field, and he's leaving all of this grass wide open right here. And if this is going to be open, we're going to take that all day. Now, a lot of times when you're going up against a user and you're throwing concepts like this, they're going to get pretty tired of that drag route, so they're actually going to be settling down. And this is really where this play can become very fun. The user will likely be settling down into where the linebacker is originally positioned, and that's just going to open up the square in behind that user defender. So you can really kind of think of this as if the linebacker vacates that space, then that's where the football is going to be going. But if he stays in that space, then we'll likely be going over the top. Now this is our same look, but I want to try and demonstrate this idea of a triangle passing concept, which is something that we'll see in the drive concept, but we'll also see in some future concepts. So if we just start running this again, we can see that that linebacker has vacated the space. We're going to be hitting that drag route underneath. We talked about how our drag route is our first read. This square in is our second read if the defense happened to have converged on that drag route. But right down here is our third read, and you can kind of see it already that we have our triangle being formed. We have our low to high, and then we have that backside. And this is one of the more powerful concepts that offenses use to try and stretch the defense out. If you think about a triangle, it has those three angles. We have the left side of the triangle and the right side of the triangle stretching the defense horizontally. And then we have the top of our triangle stretching the defense vertically. And really, the idea of this triangle passing concept is that it's just going to force the defense to try and pick which defender they're ultimately going to defend, leaving one of them open. So we've been talking a lot about how this drive concept should be approached when we're attacking zone coverage, but here we're going to have a man defense. And against man defense, it's quite simple. We're just going to be really looking at that drag route. A lot of times you can think about how this drive concept involves the drag route coming from the same side as the square in. And what that's going to hopefully do is create some rub routes where defenders might have to go around each other and allow that drag route to get some separation. Ideally, the wide receiver that's going to be running this drag route is going to be one of the fastest players on your team so that he can hopefully get as much separation as possible, catch the football in stride, and try and pick up some yardage. Let's take a look at how this play developed, keeping in mind that this is a three-step drop, so we should be firing the football out pretty quickly, and then we'll take a look at some instant replay. So in that last look, we faced some man coverage, and we actually faced some press man coverage. And we probably saw that the drag route did not get nearly as much separation as we would like. And that's gonna kind of be the case sometimes in Madden, particularly with some of the defenders sometimes running the routes kind of before the wide receivers are. That's just kind of some of the flaws that are built into this game. So in actuality, when we run through this instant replay, we may see that the square in behind the drag route may have been the better place to throw the football. Again, though, pre-snap, we're actually just going to be kind of taking a look at the middle of the field to see if there's going to be space opening up. And if we start to let this go through, we're going to see that there is space opening up underneath. We have that wide open grass in front of that drag route. The linebacker originally was in that space for a moment, but he's forced to cover the running back once he starts to leak out of the backfield. Again, in an ideal world, this drag route is going to be much more open, but we had some press coverage that was really kind of almost running the route for the wide receiver. You can actually see behind this drag route that square in, it has much better separation. I ended up throwing the football regardless, and we did get a completion for a couple of yards. Not ideal, so if we bring that back and we do see a situation like this, we may just want to take Kyler Murray, our quarterback, and just take a step up into the pocket. Maybe shift his feet a little bit forward, bring him over to maybe here. This looks like this could be a nice spot to maybe just take a hitch up into the pocket, and then we can zip the ball to that square in that has better separation against his man defender. We'll take a look at this play one more time against man defense. This time we don't have press coverage, and we can see that the defense is just bringing 5. We have that middle linebacker blitzing. We have our 4 pass rushers coming in, and then we have a cover 1 shell at the top. And against man coverage, we're going to be going to that drag route primarily. Let's take a look at how this is going to develop. And on this replay, we can really see how this drag route is going to shine against man coverage. That cornerback is not in a great position, and we're able to just hit that drag route in stride. And if we do have one of our faster players, you can see how that quick little pass can turn into a big gainer. In this last look for the drive concept, this is just kind of a demonstration that you can find this passing concept within a variety of formations depending upon the playbook that you're using. And you can also see that we can potentially have some additional concepts on the backside. Here we have a 2 tight end set with Arnold and Daniels, but still it's the same idea. We have that drag route coming in on the same side as the square in, where we're going to have a low to high read, or sometimes you can kind of actually look at this as a high to low read. I personally prefer to look at this as a low to high read. I'm going to take that drag route whenever I can, kind of an extension of the running game. And once the defense really commits to try and stop that, we're going to be able to hit that square in behind the defenders. On the backside, you can see though that we have a smash concept being run by Fitzgerald and Hopkins. We can have all different kinds of concepts on the backside of our drive concept, and in this instance, we can really have some fun as far as figuring out what side of the field we want to be trying to read. In this instance, since I'm really just primarily trying to demonstrate the drive concept, we're going to be taking a look at Daniels and Arnold as a low to high read, and in a future video, we'll be taking a look at that smash concept that's on the left side of the field. Let's run through this real quick and see where the football needs to go. And with this last look, we can see that we kind of have the same idea, although we're in a completely different formation with 2 tight ends on the right side of our formation. We still have this drive concept working nicely, where we're going to have the drag route coming in underneath and that square in behind it. As we start to run this play, we can see where my cursor is, that we have lots of grass, and when we see that grass, we're going to try and get the football into that area. We can see the linebacker behind him. He's dropped in to cover the deep middle part of the field. Don't mind my safety over there. He's not moving because that just happened to be the user that I had my second controller on. But as I was saying before, if we have that grass, then we're going to take it. Kyler Murray finishes his drop, fires the football, and we end up picking up some nice yardage off of a quick pass. So I hope you enjoyed and appreciated this video. You know, the idea behind this is that I'm going to be trying to bring some of the real world football elements into the Madden community. So if you did appreciate this video, if you do appreciate that idea, please consider liking and subscribing. And also, please leave a comment down below if there's anything in particular that you would like to see in a future video. Moving forward, I'm going to be primarily focusing my tutorials on passing concepts. If you haven't seen my previous video on the stick passing concept, you may want to check that out. And moving forward, I think I'm going to be jumping into shallow cross and some other passing concepts. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.